Hello everyone, welcome to our Ask the Mayor Anything session. Just want to say firstly, before I start the questions, that we know there's bushfire, there's a crisis across New South Wales, and we're thinking of all the families out there. But locally, our local library is helping out with the animals, and they're saying to those that can sew, good or bad, I'm probably the bad one, if you want to pop into the library, they've got some little patterns that you could take and you could sew koala mittens and bat pouches and a few other things. So if you've got some time, you can spare a hand and you think you want to do something to help, maybe this is one way. So thank you for that, and thank you to our library staff. Got another bowl this month, so I'll start the questions. This is from Lukey Jace later. Now's the time to desilt the Umberomika Reservoir and Stephen Creek Dam. Radford's offered to do it years ago and was knocked back. We live in the desert, water storage should be high on our list. Agree with you there. Unfortunately, we actually don't own that water reserve. It's actually essential water. I know council really lobbied for it a couple of years ago and the cost was escalating. And I think that we won't see a change in this government desilting that area while we have the pipeline from Wentworth. But, you know, I think that's a good idea, and we might even let the new water people know that we've actually got that sent in. The next question is from Christy Smith. I've had a couple of run-ins with stray dogs lately. Once while walking with my baby in her pram, it has meant that I'm no longer comfortable walking my dogs outside or even walking with my baby. Usually I see at least one dog out of its yard any time I'm driving anywhere. Are there any plans coming up to help combat this issue? Can I say firstly, we've actually got the out on public comment is the animal companion policy that we're developing, which covers dogs and cats. So please, for everyone out there, if you've got any concerns, please send us your comments. But we've also increased our ranges, so we've now got 2 and a reserve, a call-in ranger to help out. But our biggest problem really is owners and having owners being responsible for their dogs. So it's a tough gig. What I would say to people, if you see a dog out, call our good rangers and they're there. We're nearly finished our new pound. I think that should be finished in January. It's a long time coming. But we're nearly there, and give them a call. But for everyone that has an animal, has a dog, please think about putting in that sort of safety fence so that they are locked up and they're safe for themselves and for others. And I know I have a dog. I'm a responsible dog owner. We walk with our dog on a lead and we try the best for him, but I do know that concern. So hopefully that we've increased our ranges. Dog pound will be opening soon. And big encouragement to everybody to respond to the animal companion policy that's on public exhibition. And I know I've already received one personally, but you can respond to council. Chris Harvey, still wondering if by any chance the semis could use a bypass instead of going through town. There seem to be more lately, so noisy and dusty and messing up the roads. And I think the dust coming off of them is also because of all our dust storms and that hay coming through uncovered. So you know what, Chris, I'm still lobbying out there. Anybody who's at Parliament House knows I'm knocking on the doors and trying to push for that funding, and we can keep it going. We believe that a bypass road is important for trucks. We think for many reasons. A lot of the traffic, I can't imagine living in William Street or Argent Street where it comes through and out at is it Bonanza Street out the south? So, we still keep the fight going and we'll be working hard for that. Hopefully, Chris, one day I'll stand here and say, guess what, we've got it. Matt Behrens, and I'm sorry, Matt, if I've pronounced that wrong. What is Broken Hill City Council doing about all the dead and dying trees around town? You'll be pleased to know, Matt, I just arrived at the council building and there's an arborist in town doing an assessment of all the trees. A lot of it is, the fact we're in the biggest drought ever, and this drought I think we've never got over from the Millennium Drought, but council's trying their best, so we've got an arborist around having a look. The dead trees, still, give us a call if there's a dead tree around. There is a process for removing dead trees, but what we want to do is see if we can actually save the tree, and that's why the arborist is around pointing out, and he's pointed out a few trees that might have been able to be saved and unfortunately haven't been, but hopefully we can in the future. And the other thing that probably if you're into policies or you're not into policies, you're going to say, I'm not another policy, but what the council needs is a policy about these trees. And I just spoke to one of the community reps on our tree policy committee and said I had this question today. So hopefully the arborist will be able to help us out. But please, look at your trees. If they're in your backyard, think about the condition they're in. I've just got a friend to come in and help me with mine. Ruth David, why can't you keep more retailers at the Plaza and also all the empty shops in Argent Street? It's very sad for all the tourists that go through. Really interesting, Ruth, because I think in the time I've been mayor, I've seen so many new businesses open up in Argent Street, and businesses that have grown, like the Silly Goat that's moved down a bit opposite the art gallery. But if you look at those new businesses, I'm just amazed at times, but we need to be better at that. Council can't open up a shop, and we don't own the Plaza retailer, but we can encourage business. We're a small business friendly council, so we've tried to cut out all the red tape. We're also looking at place activation in Argent Street, and we're hoping that with this new art gallery, with the new library, that we could actually progress how we actually move people around there. Now, it won't be open this Christmas, but maybe it'll be open soon, so let's see how we go. Again, it's the lobbying that's happening that we're doing well. Reg Table, I have a question with regards to the cafe at the airport. I was under the impression that the new lease was to start on the 2nd of October. A vending machine is our first point of call to Broken Hill deserves more, and so do the people of Broken Hill. It's truly embarrassment to all the Broken Hill people. When is this cornerstone of Broken Hill going to open, and who's going to be running it? And Chris Neros, why is there no airport kiosk? Yes, that's in capitals. Can I screen that as well? Because I probably travel as much as most people in that airport do who work in council and government job. And I'm probably out there once a fortnight. And do I miss my coffee? I do. We've got a contractor. We had two people interested, two companies, or not companies, but two families interested over time that pulled out at the last minute. And then at the moment, there's negotiations going on with a third. We're hoping that this will progress. It's very cheap rent out there, and which covers water, I think. So if this doesn't work, think about someone out there to think about taking this up. Who's next? Mark Sutton, Mali Garpa, and sorry Mark if I pronounced that wrong. Why hasn't Broken Hill City Council put large letters spelling Broken Hill on the side of the Mullock heap yet? Just like the Hollywood. I heard this idea years ago and thought it would strengthen our claim as the Hollywood of the Outback. Well, I think that's a great idea, and I was hoping, we don't own that heap, it's owned by CBH, so there's some complications, and also it's Crown land, but I was hoping that with the Crown land redevelopment, they'd actually look at the Bobos sign up there, because I think that would be perfect site for that. So let's hope that there is negotiations going on there, because that would look amazing. There's lots of opportunities about promoting Broken Hill, and so let's see what we can do. Josie Andrews, what I'm really curious about, what happened to the $8 million donated by the BHP and where the funds revoked? So the BHP funding was around $5.4 million, I think. What happened is that when I was elected, we came in, we heard that the community weren't happy about separating the archives and the library and moving the library to the Plua Moors building. We pushed the pause button, and remember the archives was going to be in the cellar of the council building. Pushed the pause button, we went back and consulted. Because we were changing that process, the contract with BHP, Bulletin Foundation, because it was actually an American, BHP Bulletin Foundation is an American company, because we were changing the terms of our contract, we had to give the money back for that. But we have kept in had a constant relationship, and we are very confident that we will have that money when we do the library and the archives build at the Town Hall facade, where the community have said they want it. It had to be handed back because of the legal complications with the company's name being American, but it didn't mean that we won't get the money in the future. And Maxine Turvey, why is council always providing income and giving local jobs to out-of-town firms or people? Does Broken Hill have a huge unemployment problem? Or does not Broken Hill have a huge unemployment problem? Look, we try not to give contracts out of town. There's a lot of rumours that we do, and I think the current contract we gave out was a fabrication contract. That was a local contract. So we try not to do that at all. We go to open tender where we can. We actually pick the local ones to do that. There's a lot of issues at the moment because of the roofing in town and everything else that a lot of local contractors aren't putting in their bids, but we do what best we can. So it's not our policy to go out of town. It's kind of our position that we try and get locals, and very pleased that our biggest contract recently was for a local firm. And I know there's more questions. The bowl is empty, as I say. There's more questions, and that I understand that we have limited time in one way, but we won't miss those questions. So what we'll do, like we did last month, so we'll actually put them on our Facebook page or have a sheet and we'll upload that to Facebook, so you can go to a link on the Facebook page and it'll find the answers to the questions. Can I just say, we're having a lot of dust storms lately. You can hear my croaky voice from all the dust. So just take care in those dust storms and make sure that you do the best you can with keeping the dust out. I know I've had my old house once, our ceiling fell in from all the dust, but you do the best you can, but also look after your health with the dust storms as well. Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll talk to you next month.